The amount of copium that the Star Wars Outlaws director is just laying out there is really a sight to behold. I thought we were done talking about Star Wars Outlaws. We came, we saw, it flopped, move on. But then you got the director saying that with the improvements to the game, he thinks it will go on to garner millions of players and be one of the longest lasting video games of all time. You can't make this up. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle. And yes, if you haven't seen, Star Wars Outlaws creative director tries to spin disastrous launch, says millions of people are going to play for years and years following improvements. Homie, there are very few games that people play for years and years. And the ones that usually do play, things like Counter-Strike or, Minecraft, games that actually have a sense of longevity to them because there's this multiplayer community aspect. Even if you fix this game, even if you make it the most pristine, perfect 10 out of 10 game, it ain't lasting for years and years. I mean, even Black Myth Wukong ain't gonna last for years and years. Are there going to be handfuls of people that go back and replay it and it's going to have a long-lasting legacy? Yes, those games will. Star Wars Outlaws ain't even gonna get that, but go ahead, cope all you want. In a declaration that comes across as a massive cope by any metric following the disastrous launch of Star Wars Outlaws, the game's creative director has claimed that supposedly forthcoming improvements will turn the title into one that millions of people will play for years and years. Now, have we seen this happen before? Technically, yes. I can only think of one example, but we have seen it. Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk 2077 was one of the most looked forward to games in, honestly, a generation, if not more. And then it became one of the biggest flops on launch because, No Man's Sky as well. No Man's Sky and Cyberpunk 2077. Both these games launched to massive hatred and vitriol from the fans because they were buggy, glitchy messes that did not offer in any way, shape, or form what was promised, and then, slowly over time, they were fixed, and the fan base was like, you know what? You've done your work, you've brought us back in, you've shown us good faith. No Man's Sky especially, because every single update ever since has been free, and they are still expanding that game to this day. So is what he's saying, in talking about possible? Sure is. Have we seen it before? Absolutely. Are we gonna get that with a single-player Star Wars game? Yeah, no, press X to doubt. I'm just like... This is insane. As anyone who has either played the game for themselves or watched their favorite streamer take it for a spin can attest, Outlaws is less a finished title and more of a slapdash collection of playable game builds, its actual playable moments strung together with bug after annoying, even game-breaking bug, which is 100% accurate. I mean, again, there were even cases where the PS5, people had to restart their save data from scratch because of day one patch, day one, when really, oh no, we got the game 3 days early. No, you got it on time, then everyone else had to wait 3 days, and if they did wait those 3 days, like me and so many others have suggested they do, guess what? They didn't have to restart their games that got soft locked because of said day one or day three, however you want to put it, patch. And that last bit is not an exaggeration. In addition to its widely reported graphical and gameplay bugs, including one which causes protagonist K-Vest character model to become unaligned from your speeder bike, I had not heard of that one, and another which causes enemy AI to completely short circuit for no reason, I have seen that. The footage is just beautiful. Here it is, yeah. PS5 players who began playing during the game's early access period were forced to completely restart their saves after Ubisoft released a day one patch. Bingo, bango, bongo. See, that's what I'm talking about. You tell the way this game is handled. Let's talk. First of all, Star Wars is a dying, if not already dead, franchise. What just happened? Oh, right. The Acolyte was just canceled. Why? Low viewership. Do you think Skeleton Crew is going to fare any better? Absolutely not. And you think this game is going to garner millions of players for years and years to come? What do you plan to do? How are you going to monetize this? It's a single player game with a battle pass. You already have all these DLCs announced. DLCs that were announced prior to the game coming out, and then the game doesn't work on launch. Because gamers and Star Wars fans alike are so jaded and angry at the state of gaming and the state of Star Wars respectively, not only do you have the uphill battle against gamers to climb, but the uphill battle against Star Wars fans as well. And I'm talking real fans, not this Disney stuff. To this end, it should come as no surprise that in light of both these issues and audiences' overall exhaustion with all things Disney Star Wars, Outlaw's initial reception has been rough to say the least. For proof, look no further than the fact that in the review of their game, even Kotaku could not ignore the fact that it is a technical disaster. Hold on, who wrote this article? Was it It is Spencer. Are you Spencer? You absolute fuckboy. We literally used this Kotaku article on my stream you were a part of. I see what you're doing here. With writer John Walker even observing, in 2024, we have reached the most deeply peculiar place where AAA games are feats that humanity would have once recognized as literal wonders, and yet play with these same irritating issues and tedious repetition as we saw in the 90s, which we shredded on Countercast on Monday, by the way, because games in the 90s didn't actually have the vast majority of these problems, because you couldn't just day one patch it. It was a great discussion, but that's neither here nor there. This contrast, this dissonance, is absolutely fascinating. Yet, despite all of its failings, Outlaws creative director Julian Greedy thinks that, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it sounds so close to greedy, and he works for Ubisoft that I just kind of want to pronounce it that way. The time that improvements, the game will become a bona fide gaming classic. And then he admits to being disappointed with the launch. I'm a little disappointed with the Metacritic, where the game currently holds a 76 out of 100 critic score and a 5.4 out of 10 user score. I had not checked Metacritic. I didn't realize how abysmal it was. I just kind of assumed because, well, Ubisoft and Star Wars, but actually seeing it written out like this is, it feels good, guys. I'm gonna be real. It feels good. Recognition from the critics is very important to us. Oh, we know. But I do think that players are really connecting with what we did. What do you mean the players are connecting with what you did? 5.4 out of 10! The players are rejecting it even more than the critics, and we knew the critics were going to suck you off just because you're Ubisoft and because you're Star Wars. And like, again, we had the response from Kotaku of all people. They were like, oh, you know what? We love this game because, well, we have to say we love everything those angry Gamergate chuds don't love, but it is a middling disaster. Like, what do you mean that you think the audience is connecting with you? Every single video about Star Wars Outlaws from actual gamers is just lambasting it. We had a very ambitious target. We literally reached for the stars. I don't think you know what literally means. And I think we were successful from so many different angles. Again, press X to doubt. How can you be successful if your game not only is failing with gamers, but also, as the most expensive Ubisoft game ever made, is not even close to making back its budget yet?
That's stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid!
The Ubisoft dev told Games Radar Josh West during a recent post-launch interview, I'm sorry, there's a magical, unique experience with Outlaws, whether it's Star Wars or not. Okay, if this game wasn't Star Wars, it would not be getting the vitriol it's getting, mainly because nobody would be playing it. They'd be like, oh, look at this generic-ass sci-fi game that was busted on launch, and they would have moved on. Because it's Star Wars, it's getting all the extra hate, because not only is this a bad game as a game, but it is also bad as a Star Wars product. Again, war on two fronts, homie. I think Outlaws has such long legs, this will be a game that millions of people are going to play for years and years, and we're never going to stop improving it. He then declared, before laughing, oh, well, that's a lie. We'll stop improving it eventually, but today my mind is not on stopping. Bro, there is no improvement that would make me be like, you know what? I've ragged on Disney and Star Wars enough. Maybe I should sit back, and actually play this game. Like, that's just not gonna happen. I don't care about this game. I don't care about Star Wars. In fact, I'm glad it is the destructive, buggy mess that it is, because it's opening more and more people's eyes to the fact that the modern-day gaming industry does not give a shit anymore. They don't care about quality control. They don't care about you as a customer or you as a fan. They don't care about putting out a game that actually is functional on day one. There's no artistry behind it. So yeah, there's no level of improvement that will fix those issues on the back end, because those are issues that has infested the entire culture of video game creation. Further pressed for his feelings about the game's overall future, Gertie, I guess is probably how he pronounced it, added, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm still working on it. Game director Matthias Carlson is still working on it. We're pushing a lot of improvements, he told Wes, not just on the base game, but the things that we're going to deliver later this year and next with the downloadable episodes we're creating. That's right, go ahead, focus on the DLC. That's what all the gamers want to hear right now. Hey, we're focusing on making sure this DLC is awesome. This base game that you paid $70 to $130 for is complete nutter shit. But that DLC gonna be just top 10 banger. Yeah, how about you fix the game that is a defunct pile of rubbish before you even talk about your unearned DLC, which, let's be real, probably could have fit on the disc because DLC at this point stands for dislocked content. You paywalled it because you know that gamers are so addicted to it like drugs that they will pay for it. At least the few gamers that actually did buy your game. They're heavily themed, pushing a certain aspect of the game that we have even further. Man, I don't care about the themes of your game. I don't care about the themes of your game. I don't care about the game. I don't care about what you have to say. I don't care about what copium you have to breathe in and breathe out to make it seem like this game is a success or will be a success in the future. We have seen the downfall of Concord. We have seen the downfall of Dustborn. We see this Star Wars Outlaws is a massive failure, and frankly, I'm willing to bet that Assassin's Creed Shadows at this point does even worse. Not even because of the Black Yasuke stuff, although that of course is going to have a lot to do with it, but because gamers are so tired and jaded, and honestly, Ubisoft's name is pretty damn near the top of the chopping block when it comes to AAA developers shitting out games that lack any sort of quality or quality control. It really is a nightmare. He gets to go out, he gets to parade around, he gets to do these interviews and be like, yeah, the game isn't, it didn't launch the way we expected it to, but just go ahead and trust us. Why? Why should we trust you? Not only are we not trusting Disney and Star Wars, but what has the gaming, at least the Western gaming industry, done to make us want to or believe in or have any sort of trust in you that you are going to do right by the fans, that you are going to fix this, and that this wasn't just a desperate cash grab, money grub with no artistic integrity behind it whatsoever, and just using the name Star Wars to make a generic-ass game that is a buggy mess that nobody wants, and the people that do want are absolute Disney shills or Star Wars shills because they can't let go of, 1978 or whatever, and they haven't come to terms and realized yet that Star Wars is awful now. Star Wars sucks. In fact, I think a lot of these people probably do realize Star Wars sucks, and they're only holding on to it because they got to usurp it from us, and they get to hang it over our gamergate alt-right Nazi chud heads. That's the only reason this game has any traction, is because there is a small subset of an audience there that will do anything to keep Disney Star Wars alive, though they're not very good at it because, once again, The Acolyte was canceled. But those are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not always about the state of the gaming industry, but anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon, and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles I go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos I react to on my Friday night live streams, and of course, get involved with over 80 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow even further, because we do care about diversity. Only one kind of diversity of thought. If that's interesting to you, join the Discord, hit subscribe, and until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.